shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm pleased to be joined by goalkeeper Lee Nicholls. We'll start with Louis Reynolds from BBC Radio Leeds.
Thank you, Lee. Good to see you again. We'll start this afternoon with just your thoughts on Chris's decision that he announced this afternoon, retiring from the game.
Yeah, I think it's not an easy decision to make, but the thing is with Chris, he's worked really hard while he's been playing football and put himself in the position where he's got other goals now for after football, and it's something I think he'll really succeed in.
How have you found him as a teammate over the last
Yeah, top class. It's someone over the past few years that I've turned to for opinions at times, and it's been someone that has been good around the dressing room, and yeah, he's been a top professional, and I wish him all the best in the next bit of his career. Really
difficult Easter weekend. How do you reflect on it?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's not. I hate losing games, and it's just the story of our season, I suppose. I think against Stockport, I thought we played really well. We mixed the game plan up a bit and decided to go a little bit more direct and play for second balls, and I think we created a lot more chances than we probably have been, and we just couldn't get it done over the line, and yeah.
I guess the disappointment, the frustration for some of the anger of missing out on the playoffs there is now there. Who in your opinion is responsible for not getting into those playoffs, Lee?
No, I think it's a mixture of everything. I think the injuries have played a massive part. I think that's probably the biggest reason why we haven't got there in the end is the injuries. I think as soon as someone comes back, I think as soon as they start getting close to full fitness, it's someone else gets injured, and we just haven't had a settled team. And I think that's probably the biggest reason why.
Yeah, you being one of them as well. Injuries aside, what more do you feel you could have done on the pitch to have extended the season?
I don't know. It's difficult to say. I think we're still in the thick of it at the minute, and it's as a footballer you don't really reflect. It's always about the next game, and I think in the off season it's something you probably sit down and think about, and so right now it's difficult to say, but it's difficult to say at the minute, and it's something that probably in 5 or 6 weeks' time I'll probably be able to answer.
It feels like during your time at the club, Lee, every summer feels like a bit of a summer of change. How do you view that, especially as a senior player? Is it hard to be settled? Is it now part and parcel? How do you view it?
No, it's difficult. I think whether you're a senior player or a younger player, I think so much changes. Sometimes it's good, but I think we've got it wrong, I think, at times since in my time at the club, and it's hopefully it's something we can get right now, and hopefully we can move the club forward and get the club back to where it deserves to be.
Do you feel that this season's a missed opportunity?
Absolutely, yeah. I think coming into pre-season and the players and the squad we've got, I think it's absolutely a missed opportunity, yeah.
And in terms of like a learning curve, how much can you take from the disappointment this season into summer and next?
A lot again. I think it's again in the off season. I'll probably reflect, and I'll see things where I think I can improve on, and where I can help the club. And it's I'm sure there's a lot of lads in the dressing room who will do the same, and hopefully we can put that right over the summer and come back a better team and better players.
Has it felt like a happy club this season?
No, not really. I think at the start it was. I think the start of the season we got off to a good start, and I think it was heading in the right direction, and I think the injuries came, and I think everything changed from then on, and we just haven't been able to turn the tide and be pushing in the right direction again.
In terms of the next 2 games, how do you and your teammates keep yourself motivated to at least give the supporters something to cheer about?
For me personally, it's about build a momentum for next season and going into the off season with a feeling of winning. I think that's where I stand with it, and just giving something back to the fans, the club, and being competitive. I think that's where I stand with it. I think regardless of how we play, regardless of what's going on, I think we need to go out there, put performances on, try and pick up points, and hopefully build some momentum, what we can take into next season.
I obviously appreciate you would much rather be involved in the promotion race and the playoff race, but in a way, does it take the pressure off so you can maybe go and put those performances on?
No, not really. I think if you're a footballer, you want to play with the pressure, and it's more about playing in the big games than it is playing in the games without. I think I think I'd much rather play and be fighting for promotion than playing in a game that means nothing now. So in my opinion, it doesn't make it easy now.
Long old trip down to Devon as well. How has the preparation been during the week? Yeah,
it's been good. We trained this morning. It's proper training session. It wasn't as if we took our foot off the gas. It was a normal training session, and we'll travel down tomorrow. It's normal preparation.
And what's been Jon's message to you?
Nothing's changed. I think Jon has stuck to his guns and stuck to what he does, and he wants us ready for Saturday to go down there and put on a performance.
Top man, best of luck for it. Thanks.
Cheers, pal. Thank you.
Cheers, Lou. We'll just come to Stephen Chicken from We Are Terriers next.
Hi, Lee. Good to see you. I just wondered, I appreciate you've got a couple of games left to go, but you talk about going into the summer. That's a chance to reflect. How important is it for you as a professional footballer to have that time off? And how does that sort of help you go into the summer? Do you come into each pre-season with a completely different mindset from where you've left off after a bad season?
I wouldn't say completely different mindset. I think you in the off season you reflect and you let your body recover and you do all the right things in the off season. And I think it's just mentally being prepared and maybe learning from what's gone wrong and how you maybe could have handled things differently. And I think that's part of being a professional. I think it's hard to do that while the season's going on because, as a footballer, it's never about the last game. It's always about the next. And I think it's important to reflect, and it's important to do this. To just be ready and try and take what you've learned from the season before into the next season.
Do you think you and some of your colleagues might benefit from that after a campaign like this one?
Maybe. I think there's been a lot that's gone on this year, and I think maybe it might be good to get away from it and reflect and come back and hopefully fresh start and try and get the fans on side and be fighting for promotion.
That's all from me. Cheers, Lee.
No worries.
Cheers, Steve. We'll just come to Leon Mobshaw from the Yorkshire Post last.
Hi, Lee. I hope you're well. I mean, it shows something about yourself. You come onto the press, and a lot of people wouldn't have done it, and it shows that you sort of care about the club and you're hurting, and that's what it's all about. I mean, as a good professional, isn't he? I mean, you obviously genuinely care, and you're sad how it's gone.
Yeah, I think ever since I've signed for this club, the fans took me in and welcomed me in, and as I know we've had tough times, but we've had good times too. And I care about the club. I care about my career. I care about doing well. And it does hurt to the way the season's gone. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in that dressing room that has hurt. And it's about us dusting ourselves down now, finishing the season well, and being prepared to go again next year.
How difficult? It must have been very difficult. I mean, it's obviously not gone the way you wanted as a team and everything, and the fans are stuff like you're not fit to wear the shirt, and that's the part of everyone thinks football is a glamorous life and everything's rosy, but there's that side of it as well. And then I'm sure that a lot of players they do care. The overwhelming majority do care, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I know. I'm in the dressing room after the game, and you can see lads who lads are sitting there disappointed and being down and on the bus journey home and no one speaking, and but it is part of the game. At the same time, the fans have paid the money to come and watch us and deserve to have their opinion and voice their opinion. But it's part of the game.
You've got to lick your wounds and come back, haven't you? I mean, whether it's at Huddersfield or elsewhere, that's the life of a professional, isn't it? And you'll need that time to sort of recover psychologically and emotionally, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's one of the biggest points of being a professional. It's how you dust yourself down and go again. It's, you know, people are going to have opinions, and you know, they're entitled to them, and I've got opinions and I'm entitled to mine. So it's about, you know, knowing where you've went wrong, knowing where you've went well, and just keep going, head down, keep going.
Do you think there was a little bit of it's not arrogance or complacency, I don't know what the right word is, that a bit of a feeling that, well, Huddersfield will be in this division for one year and then we'll sort of be out of it a little, maybe taking it a little bit for granted, maybe, you know, that you get out of League One and maybe not knowing how tough it is. You probably know because you've been here before. Yeah,
no, I don't think this squad's that type of squad. I don't think we've ever gone into a game thinking we're just going to roll over anyone. I've been in squads that have done that, but I don't think the group of lads we've got are particularly like that. I think they're all, you know, down to earth, hard working lads. I just think there's been moments where things haven't gone for us. I think there's been times where we've been really unlucky, and I think there's been times we just have not been good enough. And I think when you add all them together and you're fighting for promotion, I don't think you can have too many off days. And I think at times we probably have. I think then you factor in the injuries and stuff. I just think there's been a lot that's happened over this season that's gotten against us, and whether we maybe haven't handled it well enough, or maybe we've just been unlucky. I don't know, but it's just been it's been a disappointing season.
I was going to say, Fan, I mean, people talk about injuries and some people think it's an excuse, but it was just unprecedented, wasn't it, in some parts of the season? It wasn't just 4 or 5, you were talking 11, 12, it was double, and it's just hard to stay in the promotion push with all that, even if you've got a pretty big squad, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think there was a time when I was injured, and we were in before a home game, I think it was, and I looked around the dressing room and there was 12 lads, and I was looking around thinking, this is a hell of a League One squad in the gym. And I think there's a lot of teams in this league that if they had 11 injuries to starting players, they would really, really, really struggle. And I think at times you can look at us and think the squad's been really good because, you know, we missed out on playoffs by not too much, but you can factor that in. But I don't think that's the only factor that on why we've missed it. I think there's been a few more, and I think recently performances probably have not been good enough.
Yeah. Very best of luck, Lee, and thanks for speaking. It was good here. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to be back shortly with interim head coach Jon Worthington.
Thank you.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day. shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm pleased to be joined by interim head coach Jon Worthington. We'll start again with Lee Reynolds from BBC Radio Leeds.
Thank you, John. Good to see you again. I know post-match of Stockport we talked about injuries. What's the situation more on Rodinho, Mikel, there was somewhat Ruben as well who was out. What's their situations?
All three are out for the rest of the season. I think Mikel and Ruben are hamstring injuries, and Rodinho is an ankle injury.
Thanks for that. Chris Maxwell earlier today, retiring from football. Just your reaction to that?
Yeah, I mean, Chris, great career, great guy, and really wish him all the best, with his future. And I think, making that decision, obviously with his injury, it's been taken out of his hands. But I think making that decision is always a difficult one, regardless. When it comes to an end. So, ultimately, just wish Chris all the best.
Even with that injury, though, how have you found working with him?
With Chris, yeah, he's the reason why he's had such a good career is because he's an excellent professional. The way he carries himself around the training ground, he's that's why you have longevity and you have a career like he's had, and can't speak highly enough of him.
How do you reflect on the Easter games, John? I know you were so disappointed when we spoke on Monday. A few days on, how do you look back on them? Yeah,
same. Disappointed. I think. Yes, we can look back at it and think we could have got more out of the games, but we didn't, and that's the facts. We lost both games. I'm just thoroughly disappointed that was the result of both games.
Talked about keeping the motivation up for the final few games. How's training been this week? Have you seen that motivation, that determination from the players? Yeah,
training's been good. Nothing changes. Nothing changes in terms of what's expected from the players, the level of in training and the games, and ultimately, yes, the playoffs have gone, but players are playing for their own personal pride, and that in itself should motivate more than enough.
I guess it's momentum as well. You want to end the season on a high to take that good feeling into the summer and then the start of next season.
Absolutely. No one wants to lose football matches. No one wants the feeling of when you lose a football match. And I think ultimately, yes, I think everyone's well aware there's going to be changes in the summer, and it's opportunity for us to. To kind of really regroup and start again for the following season. So I think I agree. Yeah, momentum is important, and I think ultimately, we want to finish with positive performances and results.
It's probably fair to say one of the buzzwords at the moment is reset. Does the club need a bit of a reset in the summer, in your opinion?
I think we've fallen short of where we wanted to be. So ultimately, yes.
Just looking ahead to that trip down to Exeter, just to reward the fans, not just those who are going, but those who'll be watching, listening from afar. It will be nice to give them a performance and a result to celebrate, won't it?
100%, and that's it. That myself, the staff, and the players. That's what we'll be working extremely hard to do.
Just following the B team last night, I know it wasn't the result we all wanted. How much contact have you had with them, and what was your take on the game last night?
Disappointed for the boys in terms of the end result, but I think in terms of the B team and the academy as a whole, I think it's a really exciting project that we're over this last 2 years that we've gone through to rebuild and bring back the full academy, and it's an exciting project and a long-term vision from the owner and backed unbelievably by him. And I think I'm really confident that we're going to see over the next few years some real successes coming out of the academy.
It's a project you're looking forward to getting back to working with.
Absolutely, something I've really enjoyed. I really enjoy working with young players, and ultimately preparing them for first team football. So yes, something I'll be going back to and throw myself fully back into.
I know Tommy Pender's a player you've spoken very highly of. We've seen him a handful of times this season. What does his future hold?
I think it's down to Tom. I think he's a very, very talented footballer. He's been unfortunate this season. Got some exposure before Christmas. Unfortunately, he's been out for a few months with a back injury, and which is something that he can't control. But ultimately, he's got all the tools to be an excellent footballer, and ultimately that'll be down to him.
Is he or any of those younger boys potentially up for a few minutes over the last couple of games? I
think we'll see. We'll see where the squad's at with injuries and availability and what that looks like, and if there's an opportunity, and I think they're up to it. That's the only reason that they're put in.
I know we talked about it after Stockport, and I am sorry to say it again, but with those playoff chances gone, have you given yourself any time to reflect on your time yet since that Stockport defeat?
I don't think so. I don't think I'll probably be able to reflect on myself personally until the 3rd of May, and then I will do that and kind of recognise the challenges that I've had and the learnings from that, and ultimately try and prove myself.
What do you feel the club needs over the summer to ensure like a season like this doesn't happen again?
Well, I think obviously it's quite clear there's a new head coach and staff and around that really, and I think ultimately we'll get to the end of the season and the pitfalls of this year and the challenges and things that haven't gone to plan will be that'll be the focus on how we rectify that for next year and put ourselves in a positive mindset going into next season.
Just lastly, to circle back, is there any fresh concerns for Saturday's game or anyone you can welcome back into the fold injury-wise?
No one to welcome back. Couple of concerns at the minute, but we'll wait and see where we get to for tomorrow.
Can't share them with us yet?
Not just yet.
Fair enough. Thanks, John.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
Cheers, We'll just come to Stephen Chicken from We Are Terriers next.
Hi, John. Good to see you again. Is there a bit of frustration that despite the result on Monday, it wasn't much improved performance, particularly second half? You really gave Stockport a game. Is there a feeling that if you'd been able to turn up like that in some of the previous games, you might be sitting here talking about still having a hope of the top 6?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think that's, in hindsight, absolutely. I think yes, but I think that's the case throughout the whole season. Performances where an inconsistency in performances has ultimately resulted in why we missed out.
Are you any sort of closer to putting a finger on? Is it just? I mean, I think we always look for sort of a simple answer for these things, don't we? And it's because of this or it's because of that. I think in reality, there's lots of little things that go into that kind of inconsistency, aren't there? Are you able to put a finger on what any of those might be?
I think there's a few things. I think there's a few obviously that are easy ones to stand out in terms of injuries, availability of players, availability of certain players. I think profiles of some of the players that we've missed significantly, especially in the back end of the season. And I think some of those things are understanding what the requirements in this league and both boxes are really important to have a presence and to be able to affect both boxes. And ultimately, throughout the course of the season, we've not been able to do that consistently.
It did seem like the approach on Monday was a bit more physical, a bit more rugged. Is that what you want to see from the players over these remaining 2 games?
I would want that in every team that I put out as a minimum. That's what I expect, and then ultimately you earn the right to play, and then the football comes out. So that should happen every single game, especially in this league. And so yes, we did see that, but I'd expect that every minute of every game.
You're able to welcome back a couple of players. Brody Spencer and Herbie Kane came back in. Again, it's sort of that profile of player that's been missing. But, those two have been very important players when they have been able to play, haven't they?
Absolutely, and I think ultimately, when they have played in those periods, the team were on a good run or had good performances, and so you're always going to miss, those types of level of player if they're not available, and that's obviously been the case this season.
That's all from me. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, Steve. We'll just come to Leon Mobshaw from the Yorkshire Post last.
Hiya, John. Yeah, you've done you care a lot about this club, and you said a lot. I suppose it's up to the players now. They've got to show. You've done all your talking now. They've got to show their pride, haven't they, in these sort of last 2 games, and how much it means to them, even though it's obviously been tough of late.
Absolutely, I think it's personal pride, and it's the characters who are going to go out there and perform on the pitch, and ultimately, yes, at this stage, it's absolutely up to them to motivate themselves to show a good account of themselves.
Have some of them, do you think, struggle mentally with the situation? I mean, it's been a really disruptive season with injuries and this, that, and the other. And last season was difficult, and it's almost been about like death like 1,000 cuts to some of the players. They've had a lot to contend with, but you've got to crack on ultimately, haven't you, and find some strength from somewhere.
You have, and I would agree. It has been. It's felt that definitely over the last couple of years, without a doubt. And I think that's why I think this summer's important, and like we touched on, a reset to to get us where we all want to be.
Even if it just a couple of positive results these last two games, it is a crumb of comfort at least, isn't it? And those who. There'll be those down at Exeter. They'll be the real sort of loyal diehards who'll be down there supporting you, and just giving them back a little bit of something, the loyalists.
Absolutely, and we have to do that. We have to do that. Staff and players, 100%. We have to go into that game and the final game with everything we've got, and nothing should change from that.
Are you sort of tempted? I mean, obviously you're big on recruitment, sort of the academy, young players, giving 1 or 2. Maybe bits of experience in the last 2 games, or being part of the match day squad, something like that. Has that come into your thoughts?
Yeah, possibly. But I'll for me, with young players, yes, want to give them opportunity, yes. But it's got to be earned, it's got to be deserved, and they'll only be in there if I feel that that's the case.
And for yourself, finally, I mean, you go back to your old role, but you'll have learned a lot. You learn good things, bad things, but it's I suppose every day's a school day when you're in the football business, and you must feel like that. You've learned a lot of lessons, I would have thought, in this spell.
Yeah, learned a lot about myself, about the club, and yeah, like I said, I think that's until that last whistle goes. I think I think that's when I will take some time and reflect back on this, and both positive and negatives.
Yeah, very best of luck, John. Thanks for talking.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. We'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.